Hi, I'm Robbie from Brenco Guitars, and this is part 1 of our entry into the Great Guitar Build-Off 2021. So just going to talk you through the various woods we're going to be using on this project, and as you can see there's plenty of different species here. This is going to be a multi-ply, multi-layered body, lots going on. And the bulk of our body is going to be ash, so we've got 2 billets here, and as we said they'll be the main part of the body. On top of that we're going to have a layer of black veneer. Obviously much larger than this, it will cover the whole thing. Then on top of that we're going to have a layer of spruce, so that will create a nice different layered effect there. Then again on top of that spruce there'll be another layer of black veneer, and then finally on the top of the body we're going to have some purple heart. So as you can see it'll be a multiply, as we said, multi-layered all the way down, and that'll be the bulk of our body. And then we're going to be binding the body with some flame maple and some wenge. We have something interesting we're going to be doing with this, so hopefully that works out. And then again with the neck, we've got some maple here to make up the bulk of it. This will be split down the middle, and again we've got some purple heart that will go down the centre of the neck. And again we'll be using some black veneer as well to make it all multiply and multi-layered. So we'll just press on now and we'll just show you our body shape and what we're going to be doing with our template and that. So I'll just give you a rough sketch of what we're planning on doing here. So this will be our body, let's say, and we'll have additional layers on top with my lovely handwriting. So this will be all our layers here. This will be our ash body, then we'll have our veneer, our spruce, our another veneer, and then our purple heart on top. So once we have that as our body shape, we'll be cutting a cove cut all the way into the side of it, giving us a nice curve like that. So that'll take away this material here. So as you view the instrument from the side you'll be able to see all the various layers. And then on top of that what we're going to do is we'll cut a binding channel out of the top here, and we'll have binding going in there. And we're also going to cut a binding channel here, and we'll have binding going in there as well. And we can come back and recut our cove then and have the binding follow the outline of our cove cut here and expose all our various layers. So we're getting ready to do our first glue up here, and it's going to be the centre section of the body. So you can see we've got all our various pieces here of maple, purple heart and our black veneer. So we're just going to start on one side and we'll just keep moving them over, putting some glue on and moving all the sections over. We've got some clamps just here as well to put the whole thing together. We've got some water for our clean up and some cloths and that. So just press on ahead now and just start getting a lot of glue going. Okay, so now that we've got our pieces all milled up and planed and jointed and that, we're now ready to do a kind of dry fit just to see how everything's going to work together. So at the moment, as you can see, we've got our main part of our wing, which is a piece of ash, and we've got our centre piece of our body. And then as we said, on top of that we're going to have a layer of black veneer, we're going to have a layer of spruce, and then we'll have a layer of our purple heart. And we're just making sure to mist the ends as well to avoid any snipe we might have got on the planer. And just with our template, we've all pretty much already got it marked out. Using our black line on our veneer here on our centre block as our centre line. So now that we've got all those pieces trimmed down, we've got something that looks a bit more manageable to work with. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take our wing sections and they'll be glued up. We said we've got our various layers here. So this is our first glue up done of the body wings, and it's all holding nicely now. We've got plenty of clamps on our clamping colls and that. We've cleaned up most of the squeeze out. I keep on freaking out every time I look at this layer of black veneer and think I'm leaving a huge gap in the glue up, so it's just freaking me out slightly, but it's all fine. So we can leave that to dry up for a couple of days and we'll get on and we'll glue up our second one now. So that's our 2 pieces out of our clamps now. And so we've got exactly what we wanted. We have our ash, we have our black veneer, our spruce, and then our purple heart. So we're back to the planer thicknesser again to get everything squared up and everything even on. We've got our centre section here as well. So as I said, planer thicknesser, we'll get everything, we still have to take some height off each of these side pieces. So we get everything all squared up and cleaned up and then get ready to clamp everything up to get the body ready. So planer thicknesser and more jointing and milling. So time to glue up the body blank, and just basic stuff, some Type-On 3 we're using here. So just be spreading glue on all the surfaces and just getting it glued up, pretty much. Nothing too complicated with it or anything like that, so we'll just press on ahead. We've done our sanding now on our body blank and it's looking a lot better. The joint is absolutely perfect, no gaps or any problems like that, it's all completely flush and smooth. So with the body to one side now and the glue curing on that, what we're going to do is look at our neck, and we're just putting together all our various different parts here. So we're going to be going with some purple heart as the centre section of the neck. On either side of that we've got some maple. We're going to be putting some black veneer then in between those bits of maple and then the side parts of our neck, and that will make up the bulk. Well, it will make up our neck blank, so that should look quite nice when we cut out the final neck shape on it. So here's our neck blank now out of the clamps, and it looks like we've got a pretty good joint, and we won't be able to tell until we plane down the surfaces to make sure, but it does look good. The black veneer on the side seems to be completely throwing my eye out, kind of trying to see whether there's a gap or not because of it, but it looks okay. Lots of glue squeeze out to get rid of, so we'll take off as much of that as we can and then over to our planer thicknesser to completely smooth the whole thing out. So we're just using a little block plane here, and we're just using that to take off some of the heavy stuff and some of the old bits of glue and stuff like that, just to make it a bit easier for when we take it over to the planer thicknesser. And I have to say that I don't think Ben would even let me take part in the competition if I didn't use a hand plane at some stage during the build. That's there. Now normally at this stage most people would go over to their big table saw and cut out their fret slots, but we're going to go over to this table saw and we're going to use that to cut out our fret slots. Trying to hold these in place so you can see. So from the top you'll be able to see a thin little black line of veneer and then the purple heart binding, and from the side you'll be able to see the neck, a black accent piece, a sliver of the maple fretboard, then the purple heart as well. So all done, it should look quite attractive. And up to do, just to bring it in to show you the effect we've gone for. So we've got the maple of our neck, we've got our black veneer, we've got some more of the maple exposed, and then our purple heart here. So as you just saw, we drilled down a very small bit and routed out a very small neck pocket there just to make sure everything fits, and it does fit nicely. And we're just checking our alignment here with our laser, and we're perfectly down our center line here, and hitting our center lines here and going right up the neck. Then we're in the center of our nut. Hi folks, it's Robbie here at Brenco Guitars. So we are way behind schedule, and I mean way behind schedule on this. This is a guitar repair shop and all that, so we've just had so many customers recently. We are way behind. We're so far behind, I've just gotten the email from the Great Guitar Build Off guys to say it's time to now put in your final submission and include your photographs in that, and we are not finished. So that's all of our frets in, and because we use the wood glue, we're going to leave that to set up for a little while. So we'll take the neck, we'll hang it up, and then we'll start doing some of our many router operations. So that is all our coving routed done, and it seems to have gone okay. And we've a lot of burning and stuff like that. We're going to have to clean up a few little lumps and bumps. And next on the agenda is going to be binding. So binding, very quickly. We're just going to be super gluing this in place. We'd normally use acetone and stuff like that, but again, time is against us. So we'll just be super gluing this in. And as we said, we kept this little piece here at the end where the binding is going to be broken, which helps us out because we don't actually have enough binding to do one continuous piece all the way around. So we'll get these two pieces in. As I said, it's just super glue holding them in place, and we'll press on ahead and then go on to our lower binding as well. Whew, so that is our binding in place. That was an absolute nightmare. Didn't film most of it. I've got about 8 tons of super glue stuck to my fingers here. There's super glue on everything. The whole thing needs to be flushed down, top, sides, everywhere and all that. We're just going to leave it for a little while to make sure the glue is completely cured. We'll get our neck back out and we'll finish off our side dots, and then we'll come back to this. Whew. So just to show you where we're at, we have to install our tuners, truss rod cover, nut, install the neck, secure down the pickups, string it up, and that'll be us done. So because we're at this this juncture of the build now, what we're going to do is we're going to drop out completely, and we're going to do those final few tasks. And when you see it, next you see the guitar, it's going to be a fully finished instrument. So here's where we are now, and when we bring you back, we'll be done. Hopefully. So it's Sunday evening after a long day, and the question is, did we finish? And the answer is yes, we did, just about in time. And here is the finished instrument. So the body from top to bottom, very quickly, we've got our hammerhead shaped headstock here. We've got a multiply headstock. Multiply neck, purple heart truss rod cover, brass nut, our maple fingerboard, gold fret wire, brass inlays, our 12th fret hammerhead shark inlay. On the neck also we've got our maple neck, our black accent piece of veneer, exposing some of the maple fretboard, our purple heart, and then moving over we've got another black accent piece just before we reach the fingerboard. On the body we've got our Filtertron style pickups that we wound, hardtail bridge, we've got our controls here with thumb bleeders just to make things a bit more interesting. And then onto the body itself, you can see, just going along here, all the different areas we have. And we'll just take it in nice and close to see what's going on there. So we've got our barrel jack output here, and we've also, starting with our ash body, we've got some black binding, the rest of our ash. We've got a black accent piece of veneer, some spruce, exposed at the top of our purple heart, and then some binding. And the whole thing, if you can make it that angle there, is cut into a nice cove a nice concave all the way around, and it's all been nicely rounded over, so no sharp edges or anything like that. So it's finished and it's functional as an instrument. Needs a bit of a setup and that, action, intonation, the usual stuff. So we'll do that off camera whenever we get a chance. We've got all this video to edit. But just to say, thank you to everyone who did watch along. We did make it there in the end, just about. And that is our final Hammerhead Shark guitar for the Great Guitar Build Off 2021 Brenco guitars. So we'll finish off now with some nice B-roll of some pictures when we get the chance to take them.